Dr. Stone keeps surprising me and wowing me and just really showing me what I've been craving from anime that I didn't know I really wanted to see more of, but Dr. Stone makes me realize I definitely do. There's a lot of sad moments and moments that will make you either tear up or just feel those emotions that are deep inside and you feel like something's gonna burst out and you're not used to feeling it because they only pop out during really sad moments or really happy moments. So yeah, there are those happy cry feelings or things like that, but I don't feel as if anime gets across general niceness all that well. There are these moments that just, if you actually have a connection with someone, they'll do things that really will touch you, and they know it will make you happy, and they know it will make you tear up, but I don't feel like you see that a lot with anime, at least not with modern anime. However, with this week's episode of Dr. Stone, the jester that this village went to when they were all out in the caves getting their minerals, make sure that he's back in 3 days. Arbo again literally led him on with a question to figure out how many days he's been alive. He already knew when he woke up because of Senku's little drawing on the tree. They got him a birthday present, but not just anything. Because they know who he is, they built him a damn telescope. I was totally shocked that Senkuu didn't turn away and cry at that moment, but at the same time, it kind of made sense for him to play it up as like, oh thanks, you guys did great, as he kind of did his mad scientist laugh. But still, I was not expecting that. I was totally on board with this episode before that moment, but to see what they went through and how the entire village got together, if there was any doubts in anyone's mind that anyone in this village wasn't 100% on board with Senkuu as leader, this episode clears it up. Everyone believes and trusts in this man, and they consider him, at the very least, a friend. The only people in this village who had any chance of possibly betraying him would be Magma and his little goon that was hanging around, but even them, I didn't feel like they were going to do anything. I thought maybe 10% at best was a chance that Magma would try to kill Senkuu, kill Chrome, you know, people like that. But at the same time, at this point, he's so hot-headed, he's so honor-bound with fighting, that why would he give up Senkuu to, like, say, Tsukasa? No, he would want to fight Tsukasa. But yeah, maybe he wants to take over the village, but at the same time, is the village stupid enough to believe that this man really didn't kill them, and also he's already been defeated by other people in the village, right? So to me, it just really felt like this episode was proving that everyone is 100% on board with Senkuu as leader, and it was an incredibly touching episode. Honestly, this is one of my favorite episodes of Dr. Stone, period. I wasn't expecting to say that after, you know, coming into an episode expecting them to find some minerals. Obviously, we get some magma development, but still, just all the pieces and how they snap together, this was an emotionally fantastic episode. And what I really love is how something I really appreciate with anime and just stories in general. A lot of people don't like this, but the whole idea of leading you on to think something bad is going to happen, but really nothing bad was going to happen all along. Like, the episode kicks off with Gen, very mysterious, like, oh man, is he going to betray him? Of course he's not going to betray him. This man already knows that Senkuu can get him cola. Even if he didn't like him on a personal level, he's not going to abandon anyone because he follows the cola. However, I like those little moments because you're like, huh, I wonder where that's going to go. Because I was not expecting the birthday present, so I was really curious. So it gets your mind racing, and then as you're walking through that cave, you realize, oh man, what is Magma going to do? I mentioned it with last week's review. I didn't believe he was going to do anything. At the same time, you couldn't just disregard the chance that he would. And I thought it was quite interesting how the entire point of this episode with the whole cave exploration was Senkuu wasn't worried in the slightest. Of course, Chrome was, because, well, you know, why would he trust this man after everything that he's went through, right? However, to me, what it was supposed to do was to get the viewer kind of bouncing between which side you were focusing on. Were you trusting Magma or were you not trusting him? And I was leading more on to the trusting side, especially when he pushed Senkuu away. It was clear as day. He was not trying to push him into the hole, but rather he was trying to protect him, and he was kind of building it up as a, yep, I was trying to kill you, because he didn't want to drag Senkuu down with him. I think deep in the back of his mind, he realized that this man clearly is a better fit for the village, but at the same time he would never admit that, and of course he would still try to challenge him because his ego would never let him accept defeat. However, if he makes it look like he's the villain, then yes, absolutely. Now, I know by the end of the episode he says he was always going to plan to kill him, and I truly believe Magma is such a weird character that he bounces between his, like, emotional rage of like, yep, I was always going to kill him, but at the same time, his logical mind, he wanted to find some way to trust that this was the okay solution. And that's why I really like seeing by the end of the episode where he's basically putting together his pickaxe, because he can't just use stone tools to crack open that mineral, right? And he said like he was always going to kill him, and then nothing happens, because it just feels like this entire journey for Senkuu, two things had to happen. One, they needed someone of brute strength to be able to carry all of the rocks and minerals. There's no way anyone else in the village could handle as much as himself. But two, make sure the one threat that could potentially, within his own village, turn against him was 100% on board. And I love how Senkuu is a gambler. Honestly, if this world had a casino, I honestly imagine he'd be hitting the jackpot every Saturday night, honestly. The man always gambles with his life, but it doesn't feel like he's stupidly gambling. Like, he honestly understands that this person probably isn't all that much of a threat. There's no reason for Magma to actually kill him. Unless science proves to be boring, everything that he's been doing up to this point, it kind of proves that, yeah, maybe you are stronger. Maybe in your world, maybe in this world, you deserve to be village leader more. But hey, I'm going to keep showing you the wonders of science. And after everything that he's seen, cotton candy, the food, just the light, like he doesn't have to, you know, just be in pitch black darkness anymore because of this weird science wizard, right? I just love that. I love how they naturally and really realistically brought these characters together, and you feel like, of course, are they going to be like, you know, hugging one another, always being like, I'm always going to be there for you, bro? No, absolutely not. However, there's no threat at this point. As Tsukasa came to the village tomorrow and said, hey, big man over there, give me his head and I'll let you be chief. He wouldn't do it. At this point, unless science proves to be boring and Senkuu can't keep showing him the wonders of science, there's no reason for him to betray him at this point. Especially seen by, yeah, he wants to have the women, he wants to have the power, but if he was to remove Senkuu, would that really get him the women and the power? They would probably all hate him because they wouldn't have the wonders of science. That's what makes this bond and just what this episode represented so goddamn great. It really felt so exhilarating, and it was just, the only real threat was actually just the caves and just the holes that they could fall into. I mean, it kind of looks like the hole is like just gigantic. You're like, oh god, they're gonna fall in that, they're gonna die. And it looks like it's actually not too deep, so they actually were able to survive. And I like the little types of science that they'll bring up every so often. Little Senkuu bot who explains how they were filling in the hole, basically. If you put the tube lower in and then you kind of bring it up, then it will kind of create this vacuum and they can fill it up. I just love little moments like that where they can sneak in little kind of science details, and it's just utterly fantastic. And there's a moment towards the end of the episode where, you know, on one hand, I was kind of buying into it. I was like, you know what, if you want to go cheesy with this, I'm totally on board with it after everything that we've seen. We got our boys saying, you know what, the thing that we gained the most was friendship. And I'm like, you know what, it's cheesy, but you're right. And then Senkuu and Magma are just like, that's cringy as hell, bro. I'm like, okay. Yep, you're right. I promise you I wasn't on board with this. I was never gonna go with that cheesy shit. Kinda was, but at the same time, they just shut it down. Like, I feel like sometimes the little lines and little jokes that the author writes into this story is almost like a little jab at the industry, while also turning into something really adorable for the story at hand. It just feels as if this episode had to do one thing and one thing only. Make sure that Magma wasn't gonna kill Senkuu in his sleep. At this point, I was pretty much on board with him, because as soon as Senkuu became village chief, it kind of felt like a switch happened. That he was no longer this douchebag who was just trying to beat up everyone. He was still hot-headed, he still had his honor, he still was a dick, 100%, but he wasn't a murderous dick is how I'd put it. It was 80% chance that he was going to be okay, 20% chance something could happen to Senkuu. And at this point, it's 100% that he's safe. Like, there's nothing that could really stop him, I feel like. Obviously, they can always throw curveballs in the future, but I think that's what this episode represented, that he's safe in his own village. Elsewhere, Mother Nature, Tsukasa, absolutely not. But the place that he needs to be okay, he absolutely is. And that's what I love about what this journey represented. It's a very simple 3-day journey. Go into a cave, grab some minerals, come back. Did you live? Yeah. However, it really represented that everyone came together and that this village 100% is behind our main man. And to see what they all represented. Even though Tsukasa was just keep him away for 3 days, everyone aided in him having this birthday present. And it's kind of goddamn amazing, I have to say. This series can throw so many curveballs, put me into a loop and not know where I'm gonna end up. And I love how it can be hilarious, it can be emotionally gripping, either with more sad subject matter or very just kind of happy sad subject matter, where you're like, I feel sad, but I kind of feel happy because it's such a bittersweet moment. Like, this series can be so intelligent with just inventions and really explaining how they're creating things, or it can really make you feel like you're watching human characters. Even though some of these character designs are funny and obviously very anime designed, it doesn't change the fact that these are people. You feel like these are real people. And that's why Dr. Stone is, without a doubt, top 10, I honestly think top 5 anime of 2019 for me. That's how much I goddamn love this series, and I need a season 2, I need a season 3, keep making this anime. And based on the success, I definitely think we're getting it, and I'm hoping, because I know it's getting a season 2, but I just feel as if I need some form of confirmation as soon as episode 24 wraps up. Just give me that so I don't have to be like, logically I know it's profitable, it's gonna get more. Just make it so I don't have to wait for like 3 to 6 months to get that confirmation. Just do me that, please. Please, please. But this was a great episode. So goddamn good. But what did everyone think? Did you see the telescope twist coming? Because I definitely did not. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. And if you did enjoy this video, be sure to drop a like and remember to hit that subscribe button if you happen to be new. So until next time, everyone, please take care and have a good one.